Just turn around and walk away.
I can't do that. I'm gonna kill you.
Gia, Fear the Night, without giving too much away, how much running did you do? And I apologize, you've been answering this question quite a bit through the press day, but are you a natural runner, so it wasn't such a big deal, or was it kind of a big deal running in the night, like literally?
Thank you so much for recognizing that people would pick up on that. I would say that I am very clumsy and that I consider myself an active person, but I'm not like a runner or anything. I'm not like a long distance runner. But I did run a lot for this movie. And I actually, in one of the scenes, they had to stop shooting because I totally fell and ate it and got this nasty cut on my leg. And I still have the scar to prove it. So I really went for it. I guess you could say I'm a little bit method in my technique.
I know it's an indie production, but you had the cut on your leg. Could you, I mean, you've worked with Neil before. Could you have requested a week off in Hawaii?
Oh,
I mean, please, right?
come on, man. We have to suffer for our art.
So
this is indie film.
That's amazing. First of all, what really drew you to the story? I love the fact that, without giving too much away, it takes a lot of uncompromising turns as a genre film. A lot of these genre films, they could end with a very happy note and everything's cool, but this has a lot of different serious undertones to it. Is that what you saw within the story that attracted you to it as well?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think that's really perceptive of you to see that even up until the end, this movie is still shifting and it's still questioning and kind of asking the audience member to kind of like listen again to what's going on. Yeah, certainly. Neil is he can map the human disposition like no other. I mean, he's an incredible writer. He's an incredible explorer of human cruelty and behavior. And what I really liked about the movie is that it was a chance to see women as people, not just as women, but as people try to figure something out together. And it's rare, it's not a chick flick. This isn't like light fare. This is serious. And I think that it's nice to see a movie about human beings who just happen to be women, all, no matter what their background is or what their points of view are, they've got to come together to figure out a problem. And in real time, almost, you're seeing them figure out that problem. And I come from the theater. I love a good linear performance. Give me 2.5 hours on a stage all the way through. That's so good to me. This movie kind of felt like a theater piece. Plus I had that ensemble of like just phenomenal actresses to rely upon. And those dudes were really scary.
Yeah, I was definitely scared. Your character has a really great journey. We can't really map it out per se without giving too much away, but was it a great job for you as far as playing her? Because ultimately, when we meet her, she's sort of underestimated and overlooked by her fellow friends. And they just use her sort of as a comfort zone, like an armchair, couch or something like that. Can you speak to that and just playing to that and growing from that?
Don't we all love to be underestimated and then prove people wrong? I mean, that's one of the best things about being a human is being like, joke's on you. Yeah, so it's doubly fun to play that as a character. And I think that, Neil set this up really beautifully with the character of Tess, who's played by Maggie Q, who's an outsider. And then my character, Mia, who's also an outsider in this group of women. And you're seeing the two possibilities of like people that you don't necessarily expect to be like the super nurturing ones or the ones that are going to kind of want to come up with a solution or solve the problem. These are people who you really do underestimate, and they really do have a journey, and that's always just eminently fun to play.
Yeah. Is there a difference between working with Neil in the theater or working with Neil via cinema? Is there a basic like difference, or is it kind of all the same? It's just doing the work together as collaborators, maybe?
Yeah. That's a great question. There really isn't a difference because he's just so good, and every experience with him is so good. And it really was you worry about meeting your hero sometimes because Neil's been my favorite playwright since I was in high school. And then working with him on stage or on TV or in movies.
Wait a second. Sorry. How do you get the guts to actually work with your favorite playwright when you were in high school? Because
I didn't know. Okay, I'm so sorry. Let me rephrase. I first read one of his plays when I was in high school.
Okay.
And I didn't work with him in high school, but I as
But
an adult, when I met him later on.
yeah, even then though, as an adult, you must have been intimidated. I'm scared of my own shadow. So I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, but how were you able to do that? Was it because you had a lot of years in training anyway, and you were a professional by then, as far as just
Fair
meeting
point.
him on? Yeah.
Fair point. Fair point. I just think like it's one of those like you get one shot in life. And if you're going to work with this person, like I'm going to give it my all, and maybe I'll fall on my face and look like a total idiot or not do this right. But this is it's a moment in time that was a gift that was given to me, and I'm going to just do the best that I can with it. That's how I felt. And Neil has been, I think to a person, everybody who's worked with him has said like, wow, he's such a great guy. He's not what I expected. He's so kind. He's so game. He's so collaborative. No matter what genre, he loves telling stories. He loves actors. He loves the art of cinema, and it shows. Or he loves theater too. I mean, I should say theater is one of his first loves. It just shows how much he cares and how much he wants people to want to be there and to tell the best story. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to tell the best, most cohesive story. And that's the most important thing to him.
It's a valid excuse within the last several years due to COVID. A lot of people stopped working for a while, sheltering in place. And, even me, sometimes I'm used to these Zoom interviews now. So I'm thinking, oh, I can't wait to watch Fear the Night. And I'm sure Neil's done a couple of films since then. I need to catch up because I review. And then I look on IMDb. There's like three movies within the last couple of years. You're in them. What is that journey been like the last couple of years? Is it sort of like kind of no excuses, no matter if there was a pandemic going on? Obviously you're doing your best, but I mean, it's amazing. What's the unlock to that? Just going out and doing that work.
I mean, full disclosure, we're married.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
we're
was
married.
okay.
So
you're married to the work. You're married to the work.
I am married to the work, but I'm also married to the man.
Okay.
And we share a child. We have a 3.5-year-old. So, we're locked together in COVID, and we're creative creatures, and there's a lot of fun in coming up with ideas and bantering together when you're stuck and you can't leave the house and you've got a screaming baby. So where can we escape to?
I don't know how you guys are doing work with a 3.5-year-old. All the work you've done last several years. Can you write a book on that?
Yeah. Thank God for childcare. Thank God for our babysitters and my mom who helps us. It really does take a village with kids. But also I will say Neil is like the hardest working person I've ever met. He's never not writing, never not creating, never not thinking, exploring. It's just in his DNA. That's a part of him. So he's always got something cooking. He's always got something on the back burner. He's always working something out in his mind. And that as a person, as someone who has a big work ethic and is creative, that's something that I'm very drawn to. And frankly, we love working together. We like, being each other's partner in life, but we also really enjoy the process of working together. And I'm very lucky that he trusts me with his words. But Neil has this pattern of working with people a lot, like, Aaron Eckhart or Fred Weller or Tommy Sadowski. He works with people over and over and over again because he's just he develops a language, and you kind of just flow with him. And that's a gift too.
Well, you mentioned work ethic, and I'm sure you were mentioning that bond that both of you have regarding the work ethic. Where did you develop yours? Did you know that, was it when you were a child or when you were in high school? Did you already know back then that you actually had to carve some kind of work ethic out? Or was it maybe a DNA from your family that just infused it? Yeah.
Well, in terms of being an actor, I don't remember a time where I didn't want to be an actor. I mean, as soon as I found out what it was, that's what I wanted to do. It just playing pretend for a living. Yes, please. Like that was great. But in terms of my work ethic, I got to credit my dad, my first generation immigrant, Italian father who, grew up in poverty during World War II and post-war time in Red Hook, Brooklyn, and came from nothing and he became a doctor, the first person in his family to go to college. And, my dad is just he's a real life superhero because he's a doctor and he saves people and takes care of people, but also he's someone who's an ox, and he doesn't give up. And I carry that with me, and I'm so happy to have half of his DNA.
So your final couple of questions, final question, two-parter. First one is, right off the top of your head, can you name one of your all-time favorite movies? And what is it about this movie that resonates with you? The second part of it is, after watching this movie, if someone is going to click onto your name and look at your resume, what's the movie or show that they should see next and why?
That's such a good question. Okay. So first part, my favorite movie, I'm going to say, it's just, I was asked this question a couple minutes ago, but I'm going to say something completely different because I love movies, but I really love tie between My Man Godfrey, the Carol Lombard, William Powell film from 1936, and then The Lives of Others, the German.
Oh, that's great. Amazing.
I still get goosebumps from that movie. It's just impeccable.
I can't watch Carol Lombard films because the whole tragedy about her passing away. But so she's special to you, right? As far as
screwball comedy is my dream. It is my favorite, and it is everything to me.
And she's at the top of that mountain, I guess.
She's a screwball queen, in my opinion.
Okay.
I love Carol Lombard, but yes, also patriot, like American hero, right? Died in service of her country, and then. Yeah. Okay. So then the second question was, if people went to my IMDb and they looked at my body of work, what would I want them to see?
Like maybe an underrated work that you'd want them to check out. And
that's such a good question. Okay. So Neil did this film called Dirty Weekend that I was in with Matthew Broderick and Alice Eve. And it's kind of this uncomfortable road movie, romantic comedy that didn't get as much attention as I think it deserves. Matthew Broderick is phenomenal. He's so good. And I play another kind of underestimated person. Maybe Neil sees that in me, that I feel like I'm underestimated sometimes.
Look, that's a great thing, but like you said.
But I love to prove people wrong, but that was really fun. And then I do have to say this. I've been a recurring character on the show Evil, which I just love. And we shoot that in New York here. And it's Robert and Michelle King. And I have just had the blast of a lifetime getting to play Asif Manvi's girlfriend. He is such a great dude. So that has been super fun. Plus that show is bonkers. It's batshit crazy. I love it. I am batshit crazy myself, so I can't wait to see that. I really enjoyed your film. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much. This has been a pleasure.